Hello everyone and welcome to the ESVTV coverage of the Gigabyte Star Wars 7. Today we're going to be going into the Western qualifiers, so that's going to be NA and EU. Of course we've already taken a look at Korea and the Chinese scene. So let's just jump right on into our first match. Here it is, guys. This is going to be game number 1. Oh man, I'm so silly. What did I forget? What did I forget, guys? There it is. There it is. Here it is, game number 1 in this best of 3 in a round of 8 between Grubby, our green Protoss here, in the 7 o'clock position of Daybreak against his opponent in the 1 o'clock position, Dream, our red Protoss representing Team Dignitas. Now, Grubby, of course, is a pretty popular player in the foreigner scene. He's got a pretty popular stream. He's been casting a little bit more recently as well, which is he's had quite a bit of success with. A pretty darn good caster, as well as an amazing player. Definitely check out his stream. Like, the guy is pretty fun to watch. He's got a pretty high APM, pretty clean actions. These guys have a history against each other. Grubby has played Dream. I believe he was at the 2011 multiplay Sapphire something or other. I wish I could look that up, but I know that Grubby won 3-1. So in the history, Grubby's doing well against Dream, and you know, PvP is a matchup he's certainly pretty skilled at. We saw in the recent MLG Spring Arena that he did beat Oz 2-0. So I mean, granted, then he lost 2-0 to Inori, but still, Oz is one of the best PvPers in the world, so Grubby clearly showcasing some skill. Dream, on the other hand, I don't know as much about it. I just know he's a member of the team Dignitas. He's a Chinese player living in Europe right now, and he went for a 12 gate. So, and look how attentive he's being. Look how careful he's being, checking every corner of the map with his probe for scouting proxies. Doesn't want to get proxied in his base. 12 gate also kind of supports the fact that he would be able to defend against proxy a little bit easier. Not checking this area down by the 3rd, but checking a bunch of other areas. He should be fine. Whereas Grubby, look how confident this guy is. He not only went 13 gate, but he didn't even bother scouting with a probe at all. He hasn't scouted at all. So now he's going to check the inside of his base. Good that he's being safe. Of course, there could have been a proxy right there they wouldn't have seen, but he's being pretty darn safe overall, and he's even going to check this spot over by the 3rd, so very nice play. Don't want to die to a proxy double gate. No siree. There's our core from Dream, as well as Grubby. By the way, guys, I am red-green colorblind, so apologize in advance if I miss any like forward pylons going down, that kind of a thing. It's pretty much impossible for me to tell these colors apart on the minimap, but also in-game. Grubby going for a really quick second gas and not going for Zealot first, so going second gas and then Zealot. No, actually he cancels the Zealot. Where did he scout? No, he didn't see anything yet, so canceling the Zealot. Doesn't feel like he needs that extra security. Instead going to drop an earlier second gateway to be able to maybe pump out some early stalkers. We'll have to wait and see. Whereas Dream did go Zealot and then second gas. A little bit more standard, a little bit safer, but of course he's going to be a little bit behind on the gas count, maybe on the speed at which he can tech. He is throwing some Chrono into Warp Gate. Generally, that's just kind of like a safety move, and it's kind of to show your opponent, like, you don't really know what I'm doing. I'm throwing Chrono and Warp Gate. You got to kind of respect any early timings I might throw at you. But with the second gas, Grubby's probably not going to be too afraid of that. We're going to see tech versus tech. Can't wait to see what the choices are going to be. Looks like Grubby already hiding a probe out of range of that Zunlog tower over here. Nice position to put it. You can put a forward behind here, and it's still out of range of the Zunlog tower, and that's exactly what Dream's going to check. So he's not going to find that probe there. Good play by Grubby here. Stalker, I doubt it'll check that spot. No one ever checks that spot. Really nice spot to hide in. And he's even got this, look at this. Oh, excuse me, that is Dreams. Yeah, there's that color blindness. But I thought Grubby was like watching the back spot of his base or something. No, Dream is ready to be able to put up a forward pylon there. The Stalker going to check the Zunlog tower, but he's going to get intercepted by a Zealot and Stalker. And oh no, that hurts, man. It's not bad. Like, it doesn't. You didn't like lose the Stalker or take damage. It's just like if you want to take map control, you can't really do that now that your Stalker is low on HP. And he's going to have to actually chrono out. Look at this. His next units were actually a little bit late here, so he's trying to chrono out some units. And actually, he's going to take a little bit of damage on the Stalker, but he should be able to get out a Stalker in a Sentry in time. And that's going to force Dream out here. But actually, Dream has a... No, that's a probe. I thought maybe that was another Stalker. He's going to make a pylon over here. I think he's just faking, though. He's really just trying to fake that he's actually going for a lot of early aggression, because he has a Stargate on the way. Although Warp Gate is about to complete for him. Nice round on that Zealot, then he pulls the probes back. Really good micro here by Grubby. He's got to keep that Sentry alive. That is so crucial right now. Oh, no! He loses the Sentry. Wow, what a long arm on that Zealot. That guy, I don't know what he's been doing. He's like throwing swords across the battlefield or something. I can't imagine, but he's got a pretty long arm. Yeah, so Dream's going for this double gate plus Stargate build with a couple Phoenixes. We're probably going to see one of those busts. I doubt this is going to be like, oh, I'm going to take an expansion and harass you. It's just going to be I would imagine, make a couple Phoenixes, go be able to lift the sentry, and just attack up the ramp. And having already killed off another sentry is going to make that even easier. Meanwhile, Grubby just going 2-gate robo, mostly because we'll try to take a Nexus. Just go for a 2-gate robo expansion. It's always possible you add on a 3rd gateway or go up to Colossus or something on one base, but fairly often with this build, you just go for the expansion. Forward Paladin being put down from Dream here. Grubby really has no vision. He did get to see the Stargate somehow. He must have snuck that probe in while I wasn't paying attention. That was hidden over there after he realized that Dream's army was all on his side of the map. So great of him to be able to scout that Stargate out. That's always kind of an annoying moment when you realize that you've gone Robo and your opponent's gone Stargate, but if you scout it that early, you can pretty easily deal with it. He's dropping a Twilight and a 3rd gateway. So instead of trying to take the Nexus and drop a Forge, maybe get some cannons, he's going to go for a little bit of a safer route. And it's good to see. He can just pump out a lot of units to not have to deal with that bust up the ramp. Get Twilight so he can get Blink to deal with this, or charge out Archon, but I assume Blink with the number of Stalkers he's gotten. He did make 1 Immortal just kind of for extra security against his opponent going for a bust with a lot of Stalkers. And it looks like with these 3 gateways, Dream wants to go for it. He wants to try to get aggressive here. This Observer just going to get to his base right as he's leaving. Where are his Phoenixes? He's got 3 down here at the bottom right. He's going to go ahead and... I really doubt he's going to go for harassment. Like, you either are going to go for the bust or you're going to harass. You don't go and lift up probes and then try to hit your opponent at their front. That makes no sense. So yeah, he's... well, he does pick up 1 probe, but that was just kind of a probe. We thought maybe he was about to build some tech, so he wanted to pick it off. Doesn't actually try to harass the mineral lines, so he might indeed try to go for a bust here and lift up the Immortals since there are no sentries to lift. Just lift up every stalker he can, perhaps. Warp Prism is on the way from Grubby. Very strange choice given the fact that he knows his opponent has Phoenixes that are much faster than a Warp Prism. In fact, Phoenixes are the only units in the game faster than a Speed Warp Prism. 4th gateway being added on, so Grubby just going all in on one base. He realizes that, okay, my opponent's going for a Phoenix all in. If I can just crush this Phoenix all in, just get tons of units out, then I can just go counterattack with Blink and win. There's nothing his opponent will be able to do about it. He doesn't even have a Robo, so won't be able to actually make Immortals to deal with the high amount of Blink Stalkers. So great play by Grubby here. It's all going to come down to whether you can hold this bust, though. This is it, man. This one big bust from Dream is going to be the game decider. Oh my god, that Warp Prism escaped without Dream noticing. Dream not terribly active with those Phoenixes, of course. Around on the side of the map didn't have a tower held, didn't have any like forward pylons or probes waiting. So that Warp Prism going to prove to be immeasurably helpful here for Grubby to be able to put on some counterattack pressure just by warping in some Zealots into his opponent's base while holding this position on the low ground, or on the high ground, excuse me. He does have that Blink, so he can just use a lot of mobility. He's got to be careful with that Immortal a little bit in front, but that's a lot of Zealots. That is a lot of Zealots. They can do a lot of damage to Blink Stalkers if you're not careful, but he blinks all of the Stalkers back, realizing he's about to be lifted. An excellent choice there by Grubby. A hard choice to make. Oh, but he doesn't want to be targeting Phoenixes right now. The Phoenixes, you target them down, it's like, well, you can target them down, and then they can't lift anymore, but you're just dying to Zealots in the process. You really want to be taking out the gateway units, and then the Phoenixes will be out of energy anyways. So it's like if you target down the Phoenixes, it's like they would have been out of energy. It ends up being a waste of attacks. And then you have a lot of gateway units to deal with. But keep in mind he has Blink, so if he just blinks well, he should be able to deal with these. Great SimCity just kind of falling back behind these pylons. But blinking all of the Stalkers at once again, not going to prove to be as effective. Really wants to be blinking the back one at a time and being as cost efficient as possible. He's going to be able to use probes here. Meanwhile, is there a counterattack from that Warp Prism? No, it hasn't. I don't believe warped in any units yet. I could be wrong. This Blink battle from Grubby, he's finally pulling out with the advantage, and now especially with the probes engaging. Great play, and that's going to put Dream pretty far behind here on his actual army. Although that next warp-in, wow, that was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. He must have had a couple of units he was saving back there for like 2 warp-ins or something. Keep in mind it's 17 probes to 30 though, so Dream way ahead economically due to the fact that Grubby has to use so many of his probes to defend here. So even though Grub has the tech advantage with Blink, Dream does have a pretty big actual economy advantage. Now, Grubby being very cost efficient with these Stalkers. Look how low on HP a lot of them are. But I don't know if it'll be enough. These Zealots, oh, such a good choice. That forces the Stalkers from Dream to kite back, while Grubby's Stalkers are able to do damage and the Zealots are tanking for them. He's going to try to pick off that Phoenix to free up that Stalker, but it's going to be too late, unfortunately, and all these Stalkers are so low. You can't really afford to engage with them. This is such a precarious moment here from Grubby. He can't really afford to lose any more probes, but he can't afford to lose his units either. Oh, dropping some force fields, knowing that he has Blink and his opponent doesn't, but it might have been too big of a risk with his units so low on HP. He might be forced to pull probes right now. Oh, great target firing by Dream here. Doing such a good job picking off the low Stalkers while Blink is still on cooldown, but he might have got himself a little bit too caught here. Some Zealots warped in from Grubby, but also from Dream. It's hard to even tell with the colors. who's got the advantage here, but it looks like with only 3 Stalkers left from Dream, his army is just gonna barely start to fall. Oh my god, Dream brought all of his probes when the Zealot Warpin came in from Grubby, just abandoned his main base, brought all of his probes. This could completely turn the tide of this engagement, but the positioning is so good for Grubby with that Zealot. He needed to use the mineral glitch to get through that Zealot. Oh, the force field, Grubby, that 1 sentry warped in, causing so much health for him, and the GG well played gets called out from Dream. I can't believe it. Grubby was at like half the harvests of his opponent in this awful position with like 5 Stalkers, all with like 2 HP against like 8 Stalkers and Zealots. And then all the probes get pulled, and he still holds with a clutch force field, the Zealot and the choke point. Oh man, that is insane. Grubby already starting off 1-0. Took a winner, guys. We'll be back with game 2 to continue this exciting PvP after this quick commercial break.